So I've received comments in my stream and on a few of my recent videos talking about how the clear with Spearfield kinda sucks for the Prized Pain Thorns Ritualist setup. So today I'm coming to you with some new tech to substantially improve the clear of the Prized Pain setup while also tangentially improving your boss damage a little bit too. It does add a button to the build, but I think it's very much worth it for the comfort it provides. I expected this tech to be much better than it was when I heard about it from Panda Hands in the Thornhub Discord, but it is still good, even if it's not as good as I thought. And this tech is Voltaic Barrier. Now, the skill reads, raise a pair of electrified pylons in front of you which project a wall of electricity between them, damaging and electrocuting enemies caught between them. Projectiles you fire through the wall become energized and discharge that energy on hit as chain lightning beams. I'll come to the projectile portion of that later because that's unimportant to the tech that we're going to be using right now. But what is very interesting is that this skill, despite not having the tag, for some reason counts as a melee. And while seemingly this doesn't let us socket Quill Burst for some unknown reason that makes no sense to me, it does mean that we can use this with Prized Pain. Now, Voltaic Barrier only procs 4 times per second, and this makes it a terrible skill to use on its own for clear with a Prized Pain setup because you just cannot get enough damage out for it to be meaningful. I tested a few setups tonight just to see if I could get something going that made it do enough damage, and the answer is no. What is quite convenient is you put it down and it has a 6-second duration, so you can put it down and then spam with Spearfield to basically just get free extra damage. It's also worth noting that by default it has a tiny 6-meter AoE. What you can do is you can use the Arn Citadel and Calm's Madness support gems to make the AoE insanely massive, and this just basically gives you a screen-wide barrier that any white mob that walks into it will just instantly die. That also can give you a little bit of extra damage to bosses and rares. Now, the targeting on it is pretty terrible, so especially in single target, you're not guaranteed to get actually decent damage, but in the situations where it does work, it makes your life a lot comfier clearing bosses because it just gives you these 4 extra hits a second, which, while it's nothing compared to Spearfield, did make my damage feel noticeably better, especially in a Rite of the Nameless ritual. It felt really good in there because it just spread out across the entire ritual, cleared the white mobs for me, and all I had to deal with from that point on was the rares and bosses, which also were taking a fair bit of damage for just existing, thanks to Voltaic Barrier. So essentially it just works out to being a bit of passive damage with a massive AoE that one-shots white mobs and gives you just a tiny bit of extra DPS versus bosses. Now, that's basically the entire tech with this, but while I've got you here listening to tech, I've got 2 more things to cover. Firstly, I've received a lot of comments in Discord and on my videos about Refutation. Most people are saying I should use it, and I've tested it out now, and I will say I think those people are right. But it's a little bit clunky, but if you're ever in a panic button situation where it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna die, you can socket Refutation into a skill gem and then it will just use up all your ward to give you a 100% block chance for 6 seconds. It's quite comfy. I think anyone playing any build that doesn't have decent block chance already should be using this, and this does include us. As for supports, I've put cooldown recovery 2, prolonged duration 2, and rapid casting 2 into it to just make life a little bit more comfy. The level of your Refutation seemingly completely does not matter, but quality on it can do quite a lot. And then the third piece of tech I'm going to cover in this video is hopping back to Voltaic Barrier, and that is Voltaic Barrier with projectiles. Now, I only tested this, I do not plan to build around it, but this is a tech that you can actually build around. So because Voltaic Barrier counts as a melee attack for some reason and can therefore proc Prized Pain, it's not only the barrier that counts as melee, it is also the beam that counts as melee. Now, to remind your brain about what that is, it says projectiles you fire through the wall become energized and discharge that energy on hit as chaining lightning beams. These chaining lightning beams chain 3 times and target 3 additional areas near the target, meaning you get basically a massive AoE clear whenever a projectile that passes through this wall hits an enemy. Now, the idea I'm floating right now is maybe you could use an Adonia's Ego Thorn setup with Spark to proc your Thorns damage on hit off of the Spark, but it is worth noting that the Spark has to go through the wall for this to work. This might not work in every situation, but I think there is a cool idea here that one of you may be able to cook, even though I can't really be bothered because I don't care much for projectile builds. I just don't find projectiles all that fun. But if you want to try and do a Thorns projectile build, this is the only way that this is possible that I know of. and it's very interesting tech, and it may well be a bug, so it's kind of a play it now before it gets nerfed. You're definitely not going to get banned. It's nothing ridiculously overpowered that's going to give you a massive advantage in the game. But it's very cool tech that can potentially allow you to play a game that might only exist for this league, so give it a try. It's quite cool. Anyway, this has just been a short and quick and easy video I have recorded when I'm literally right about to go to bed. So I hope you all enjoy it. Remember, like, subscribe, and all of that stuff. I was hoping this would be good enough to make a whole build update video for, but it's not. I overhyped myself initially, but this is pretty cool, and it's making clearing rituals insanely easy. That's probably pretty good for other mechanics as well. In my brain, I'm immediately jumping to clearing breaches and delirium with much more ease and comfort. And it's worth noting that the quality in Voltaic Barrier gives you more duration. I haven't put any quality into it yet, but it can get up to 40% increased skilled effect duration from quality, which should get the duration up to, by my maths, 8 seconds. So yeah, it's really cool tech. Give it a shot. I hope you have fun. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this shit video. Bye.